Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, to whichever time you're watching this recording. And I want you all to welcome to Eduk 101, or the Child and Adolescents, Learners, and Learning Principle. By the way, I am Michael San Jasper Palmerologian. You can call me Sir D or Sir MJ, and I'll be your instructor or teacher for this course. Today, we're going to dive into some of the most influential theories in developmental and educational psychology. Alright, let me have next slide. Okay, because at this juncture, we're going to discuss the Freud's psychoanalytic theory and Piaget's stage of cognitive development. We're tackling two of the most significant figures in psychology, which is Sigmund Freud and Jean Piaget. You love that. Our goal for today is actually, or our goal for this lesson is actually to understand the core theory and more importantly, to see how we can apply them in real life educational setting to support the holistic growth of student. So this is the goal of Eduk 101, to understand different theories and apply it into our classroom. So with that being said, let me read to you guys and to whoever watching this video, the Milo, or the most important learning outcome. With the end of the lesson, the students are expected to explain the key concept of the Freud's psychoanalytic theory, and particularly the stages of psychosexual development and even their impact on human behavior, and analyze Jean Piaget's cognitive development and their significance in the learning process, and apply their principle in real-life educational setting to support the growth and development of our learners. Now, let's begin our lesson with essential learning concept number 1, which happened to be Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory and its stages, of course. So let's start with Sigmund Freud. What is better to start is to read his famous quote. Let me read it for you. "The unexpected or unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier way." What do you think of this quote? I want you to pause this video and then I want you to comment in the comment section, what do you think of this? Okay, I will be counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Okay, I will be reading your comments below. So, actually, it is a powerful statement about the power of unconscious mind, which is the central idea of Sigmund Freud's work. So, think of a person. Example na lang ha, think of a person, and we will call her Sarah. This is a sunny angel. Call her Sarah, who is very hurt and angry because her friend is constantly canceling plans. So, mao ni iyang friend. Compieto and si Sarah. Compieto and Sarah, friend sila. Si Sarah, angry na siya sa iyang friend. Kaya iyang friend, sige cancel sa ilahang mga laag. Ngayon, instead of expressing her emotion, we're talking about Sarah, directly to her friend, Sarah tells herself, it's not big deal and avoids confrontation. So, what will happen next? So, the buried emotion there is maotong wala niya na expressed sa iyang friend. So, her feeling of hurt and angry is now buried. Ilubong niya. Now, the uglier way, it comes forth later. So, months later, Sarah's friend is excited about her new job. However, Sarah reacts with a cold, sarcastic comment, seemingly for no reason. So, this outburst isn't about the job na nakuha sa iyang friend, but rather, it's unexpected anger from all the past cancellation finally coming out in a sudden way. Hurtful way also. Now, the buried emotion didn't die. It's just resurfaced. Oh, that's the term. Na-resurfaced ang ugali. It is a small, ugly act of passive aggressive. So, I believe all of us can relate to us kanang pasagdan nato tapos marab gani ang atong kanang past experience and then dira ata mo react. So, probably in that way alone, no, we can understand our learners nganong ingani sila and everything in between. Okay? All right. With that being said, no, let me read same citation from Sigmund Freud. So, Sigmund Freud's analytic theory emphasizes that human personality and behavior are strongly influenced by the unconscious process, early childhood experience, and even internal psychological conflicts. So, with that being said, the behavior itself or the behavior of a certain person is shaped by unconscious process and early childhood experience. To explain this, he proposed 3 parts of structure of our mind, which happen to be the id, the ego, and even the superego. Unsa day kalahian aning tulo? Pag sinabi nating id, it is part of our mind that seeks immediate pleasure and satisfaction, like a little evil of our shoulders. Like for example, this one. Sulti na siya, mahonghong na siya sa imuha, and then maingon siya nga kanang, okay, tuslo ka iyang mata. Joke lang. Okay, say for an instance na lang, no. Mauna siya nga kanang, ang gusto lang ni Koan, ni id, kay kanang pleasure lang yun. Okay, maunang part sa atong mind. Say for an example, nakikaaway, tapos gusto ni mo tuslukon yun ang mata. Kay mo man imuhang Koan, imuhang, ay kamorbid adto nga joke, but okay, let's settle for that example. And even so, meron din tayong tinatawag na ego. Skip sa natin si superego. Ego naman is a part of that of ourselves that tries to balance, no, the entries of id and moral demands of the superego and the reality of the external world. Kumbaga, this is a favorite quote that I wanted always to share to my friends and even to my students. Sabi ni Aristotle, in the middle lies the virtue. Mauto siya si ego. Meaning, dapat when we act, mediate lang gid siya. Katamtaman, dili sobra, dili pud siya ingon ana kakulang. Okay? Mao ang role ni ego. Siya ang mediator. That's the term. Mediator. Tig-balance kay id o superego. Si superego naman is the ones who oppose the id. It represents our moral standards and even social rules. Meaning, siya tong buutan-buutan nga part sa atong personality. If this is the id, yung mag-ingon sa ato atuslo ka iyang mata, this one naman is that moingon siya nga kanang ayaw tuslo ka kay makasala ka. Si ego, at the other side, siya ang mediator. Meaning, pwede inato i-balance out ang ato ang personality between evil and good, and then we're going to decide what to act na dayon. Si ego, in other words, si ego, siya tong mag-act out na storyahon na lang nato siya. Or ang person, instead niya tusloko na to ang mata. Gets? Okay. You're going to PM me if you don't understand, or pwede ninyo siya ibalik gamit. Okay. Now, these are the personality component in a illustration way. So, nakita niyo si id, si ego ang mediator, or reality principle, and superego. So, ang inyong nakita dira right now is actually my notes going back when I was taking my board exam. So, pwede ninyo na siya makita sa ako ang Facebook. Okay? So, more simpler way, si id is pleasure principle, immediate satisfaction of its needs. So, ano lang, diretso gusto siya ka ng satisfaction agad-agad. Si superego is the morality personality or morality principle, more on good side. Si superego. Si ego is the mediator. Again, that's the term there. The mediator. Now, in addition, Freud introduced the concept of psychosexual stages also, so of development, which happen to be the oral, the anal, the phallic, and even the latency and genital, arguing that unresolved conflicts in this stage may result in fixation, or what we so-called as difficulty in adulthood. In other words, he argues in the psychosexual stages that if a conflict at any of these stage is left unresolved, it could result into fixation. So, and the cause of difficulties in adulthood. His work is really highlighted the importance of early experience in shaping our personalities and created the foundation of modern psychology and educational psychology. More so, before ta mag-move on sa heart sa atong topic, which happen to be the stages of psychosexual theory ni Sigmund Freud, ila-ilahon pa nato siya. Okay, na a funny thing later on that you're going to realize, ay, ngani di ay. Let's begin. So, fun fact, or let's have our fun fact about Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud's real name was actually Sigismund Shlomo Freud, but he shortened it to Sigmund when he was a teenager. Also, Sigmund Freud is actually a polyglot by 17. Polyglot means he is able to communicate with different language. 8 in specific. To be specific, Latin, Greek, French, Italian, Spanish, and even Hebrew. More so, move on tayo, no? He is also a heavy cigar smoker, consuming 20 cigars a day, which led to mouth cancer and more than 30 surgeries. I want you to remember that one because later on it will make sense. And his final days, no, suffering from temporal cancer. So nagka-cancer siya because syempre, imagine nun ba naman nimo 20 cigars a day na mura na gid kag train na nga level. Mura siya nga kanang ang image always nga makita nato sa internet. Kung i-search nato si Sigmund Freud, kanang makagunit siya kuan, yan ang cigar so mao na inyo nakita dira. Okay? So nag-overdose siya morphine to die peacefully. Unfortunate masyado. Okay, now let's move on to the key terms to remember before ta mag-move on talaga sa heart sa topic, which is the stages of psychosexual or psychoanalytic theory by Sigmund Freud. So, there are key terms to remember, which number 1, the erogenous zone or the pleasure area. Each stage kasi is meron siyang erogenous zone. Okay? To satisfy. Ngayon, if dili na siya masatisfy, na atay ginatawag na fixation. Fixation means is an unresolved conflict in a psychosexual stage. Meaning, pag dili siya masolve, na ay lasting effect ana sa bata. Masabtan ninyo later on akong pa-understand si inyo ha. Also, Freud also introduced the term dream analysis. So the method Freud used to interpret unconscious desires and conflict, like kanang i-analyze na to ang dreams. Siya ang nag-introduce also ana. Also, we also have here free association, a therapeutic technique where patients say whatever comes to mind to uncover hidden thoughts. So, masabtan po na siya nato later on pag maabot na ta sa topographical model. Move on tayo. Okay, now let's move on to Sigmund Freud's stages of psychosexual development. So, to remember this, or to remember the chronological level of the stages, I used to tell myself, O-A, falage. Kamo daw? O-A, falage. So, morning mnemonic na atong i-remember para dili nato malimtan ang psychosexual development itself. Again, O-A, falage. O-A, falage. So, naana siya yung sari-sariling mga meaning. Let's begin with O. Unsa diin ang O? Okay. O is for oral stage. So, this stage occur from birth to 18 months. So, this stage is also what we so-called as the infancy stage. And during this time, the primary pleasure area is actually the mouth. Karon, mauna siya nga kanang manotice nato ang mga bata during that time kay gachupon, pacifier, ga didi, and everything in between. Here's the gist. If dili na siya masatisfy na erogenous zone or erogenous zone, ang mahitabo sa bata kay naay mahitabo nga fixation sa iyaha. Naay dalawa. What are these? This is what is so called as oral receptive. Or ang bata mahimong smoker, drinking alcohol, and even overeating as what you observe in the slide. Also, or things like biting their nails or gossiping, magsigig pamalikas or curse word, and that is what we so called as oral aggressive or oral sadistic. Okay? Next. Okay. The next stage that we are having here is the anal stage. Alright? The anal stage is actually from 18 month to 3 years. The focus or the erogenous zone for this is the anus. Okay? Ngayon, ang mga bata during this time is mga toddler. Okay? Or during toddlerhood. Here's the gist. If ang bata dili masatisfy iyahang erogenous zone, which happen to be, unsa gani? Very good. Ang anus. Pag dili masatisfy ang anus, then naay fixation nga mahitabo. There are two, the anal retentive and anal expulsive. So fixation in this stage can result in two types of personalities. An anal retentive person is the one who is obsessed with cleanliness and control. Meaning ang bata, grabe siya ka-perfectionist. Okay? And then, or an anal expulsive rather. So, a person who may become messy and disorganized. In other words, ang bata ani, wala siya natudlaan og toilet training. Simple as that. Pero pag sublaan po nato siyang tudlo, ang mahitabo po ana kay sobraan po siya kahinlo. Cleanly. I don't know. Ang sige better. But one thing is for sure, as Aristotle once told us, in the middle lies the virtue. Meaning, pag tudloan nato ang bata, dapat tama lang yun. Para dili kayo siya yung anak perfectionist, o dili po siya yung anak kahugawan, or anal expulsive rather. Okay, now let's move on to phallic stage. Okay, humanata sa O, A, then Pha na din ta or phallic stage. O is for oral stage. A is for anal stage, and Pha is for phallic stage. So the phallic stage is for children ages 3 to 6. The erogenous zone of this area is actually shifted to genitals. So meaning what's in there. Okay? So Freud theory suggests that children experience a mixed feeling, including desire for their parents or of the opposite sex, and a rivalry with the parents of the same sex. This stage is also associated with the development of gender identity and recognition of anatomical differences between males and females. Now, there are two fixations that actually present in here. We have phallic narcissism and phallic inferiority. Pag sinabi natin phallic narcissism, meaning ang bata magka-develop siya og vanity, pride, selfishness, and even attention seeking, lalo na pag wala na satisfy nga area. Also, maybe ang bata mag-develop og phallic inferiority like low self-esteem, feelings of inadequacy, shyness, or extreme modesty. Again, pag dili masatisfy sa fixation will pave the way. So, dapat isatisfy na siya ng mga butang. Next, this time also is na-develop ang Oedipus complex and Electra complex sa mga bata. So, unsa ini sila? But before na ko i-reveal unsa ang kalihian sa Oedipus and Electra complex, a little bit of fun fact lang, the Oedipus complex was actually inspired by the ancient Greek myth of Oedipus, a tragic hero who killed his father and married his mother. So, Sigmund Freud developed the psychoanalytic theory, naming it after the myth to describe the child's unconscious sexual desire for the opposite sex parents and jealousy towards the same sex parents. So it's during this stage that the famous Oedipus complex for the boys and Electra complex for the girls may develop. So where a child has unconscious sexual desire for parents of opposite sex, fixation can lead to issues with vanity or low self-esteem. So mo itong akong i-mention for or in the fixation earlier. Now, let's move on to La or OA, Phala. La is for latency stage. So, after the phallic stage comes the latency stage. So, from age 6 to puberty, this is the period where sexual urges are repressed, meaning natulog siya. And the children, instead of focusing on developing, children actually develop their social and intellectual skills. There is no specific erogenous area during this time. So, age 6 to puberty, elementary years, ang mga bata, ani. Okay? And finally, we have the genital stage, the ge, OA phalage. The genital stage begins at puberty and continues throughout the adulthood. So, ang mga bata diri is morning ginatawag natin na adolescents ng mga learners. So, sexual urges are reawakened. So, mata siya balik. And directed towards forming mature, intimate relationship. And even the fixation during this time is, in this stage, is lead to sexual dysfunction or an inability to form healthy relationship. That is why, pag adolescents na ang bata, dapat i-guide sila og tarong. Okay? Kasi, if dili mag-guide ang bata, basin mag-develop sa iya ang sexual dysfunction and even inability to form relationship. Okay? So, dapat i-surround you, dapat siya good influences. Otherwise, what comes around is katong dili maayo para sa bata. So, at least, mauna siya ang pinaka-crucial also among all stages. Kaya, pag-continue na bayanday na siya, padulong sa adulthood. Okay? So, review lang tagamay. Alright. Again, review lang tagamay. Pag sinabi na tong O is for oral stage. A is for anal stage. Pha is for phallic stage. La is for latency stage. Ge is for genital stage. With that being said, to remember the chronological order or the order of the Freud's stages of psychosexual development, ang ialala natin is OA, Pha, La, Ge. Okay? Alright. So this time, I will be showing you also the topographical model of Sigmund Freud. So Freud developed topographical model of the mind in which the mind is a way of mapping the mind structure into 3 distinct levels of awareness. He used the analogy of the iceberg to illustrate this. The vast majority of mind is like an iceberg, no? Just what you've seen here in the illustration. So actually kanang inyong nakita diraa is mauna siyang ako ang notes going back when I was studying for my board exam. Okay? So, the 3 levels of mind of the topographical model is what we so-called is number 1, the conscious mind. Okay? Number 2, we also have the preconscious mind. 3, napod tayo ginatawag na unconscious mind. Mo itong pinaka lalom na gyud kaayo. So, naapod ko idungag di ay is the non-conscious. Okay, ato nang isa-isahon later on. So, let's begin with the conscious mind. So, this is the small part or the smallest part to which the very tip of the iceberg, visible above the water, and it includes everything we are currently aware of, such as our thoughts, our feelings, our perceptions at the moment. So, you are using your conscious mind to read and understand and how the way you respond on the things that you feel. Okay? So, in other words, all of the things that you are aware of. Again, pag sinabing conscious mind, all of the things that we are aware of. Conscious mind. Okay? Alright. Pag sinabi naman nating pre-conscious, okay? Pre-conscious naman this is the part of the iceberg, okay? This one, the pre-conscious. The iceberg just below the surface of the water. Okay? It contains information that is currently in our awareness but can be easily be retrieved or retrieved. Meaning, kalimtan na ito tapos at pwede lang na ito siya ma-retrieve agad-agad. So, think of it as a mental waiting room. Example, ani, is our phone number. Like, dili man na siya pareha sa conscious nga kanang aware kita always and good. So, kailangan na to prompt. Like, for example, in my case, I have to look at my phone dials just to memorize the number of it. And more so, if dili gid ko ka memorize actually sa ako ang passcode sa akong phone. Ang ako kailangan ako siya i-prompt by looking at it. So example, kining hindi siya malabas but wait for it. Kailangan ako ani nga prompt kay para ma-memorize nako siya, mapindot nako siya. And then that in itself is natap nako akong unconscious mind. Or what you have had for the last dinner are in the perception of pre-conscious mind. You're not thinking about them right now, but even so, but you can easily bring them to your conscious awareness when needed. So even so, kahuna-una ka, so ganitong ulam na ko last day, or sa ganito kung sudan gaina morning, so kailangan ni mag-prompt gamay. Mao ni siya ang naa sa pre-conscious mind. So akong gi-take note diri is not in our active consciousness, still hidden pero kailangan nato ni top up. Example katong akong gi-mention earlier. Okay? Now let's move on to the unconscious mind. So at this part, this is the largest and most significant part. The vast portion of iceberg submerged deep below the water. It is a reservoir of unacceptable thoughts, feelings, memories, and desire that are deliberately kept out of our conscious mind. Now, these content are often too painful or threatening to be dealt with consciously. According to Freud, this part of the mind is actually the primary source of our behaviors, motivations, thoughts that we are aware of, and even it influences our actions through defense mechanism and dreams and Freudian sleeps also. So in this part mao na siya ang pinakalalum nga mga nangatulog nga ato ang mga feelings, so all things that we are not aware of anymore. However, I want just to remind all of you, pag matap ni siya diri maybe na ay matrigger sa usa ka person. And with that being said, mao tong mechanism sa usa ka person to do things o ngano ing-ana ang iyahang ugali. Okay? And I hope na sabtan to siya. Now this time, let's have a quick discussions on our screen. Our few statements or based on the Freudian's idea or Freud's idea. I want you to tell me if you agree or disagree. Which one? Let me read it for you. 1. Freud's idea are still useful in understanding students' behavior. Agree or disagree? I want you to comment. In my case, if I were to look at it, I agree. Okay, we use it still now. That's the reason why also we are understanding all of this theory. 2. Strict toilet training can influence someone's personality in adulthood. Agree or disagree? Comment. Actually, it can be found in the anal stage. Na fixation dito. I want you to comment. What are those 2 fixations? Comment. Alright, number 3. Oral stage explains some adults overeat, smoke, or bite their nails. Agree or disagree? Comment. Actually, naapod to siya sa atuang i-discuss earlier sa oral stage, sa fixation. Okay, next tayo, agree or disagree? Personality is completely determined by sexual and aggressive thoughts. Agree or disagree? Comment. So in my case, no, my answer would be disagree. 2, dreams always have hidden sexual meanings. So kung nagdamgo di ay kagaina og talong, hala, na ito is sexual meaning, or nagdamgo kagaina og kuan, kining alcohol, na dito siya sexual meaning, agree or disagree? Comment. Okay, if you ask me, my answer would be it's disagree. Lastly, psychoanalysis is the only valid way to treat mental issues. Agree or disagree? My answer naman is disagree. Okay? Psychoanalysis is there to understand human behavior. It's not a treatment for mental issues. Okay? Thank you so much. That is it for our essential concept number 1, which is Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory or psychosexual theory. Now let's move on to the second part. Now let's move on to the essential learning concept number 2 of Jean Piaget. You love that. Jean Piaget, cognitive development. Okay? Okay. Let's move on to Jean Piaget's theory of cognitive development. It does actually explain how children gradually build knowledge and understanding as they grow. He argued that children are not mini adults, but instead develop reasoning abilities in stages through interaction with their environment. That is actually quoted by Jean Piaget's 1952. So, Jean Piaget's theory explains how children build knowledge and understanding as they grow. Unlike Freud, who focused on emotion, Piaget actually was interested in how thinking and reasoning developed. Napod siya point, no? Because he famously argued that the children are not just mini adults, as what I mentioned earlier, but rather their thought process are qualitatively different at different stage. Okay? See for an instance, ang usa ka bata, more gid iyang kaya nga abilities, iyang cognitive level. Okay? Say for an instance, at ang toddler or say for instance ang infant, in order for the infant to communicate, kung gigutom siya, maghilak ra gyud ang bata. Tama? At that stage. However, pag adult na ang bata, pag gutomon siya, ang iyang buhaton ana magluto or magpalit sa gawas to eat. See? That in itself, mao na ang point ni Jean Piaget. So at certain level na daw kaya or capacity, mao ni ang kaya or capacity sa usa ka bata to understand certain things or do certain things. Okay, so this time, before ta mag-adto sa heart sa atong topic, ila-ilahon sa nato si Jean Piaget. So ingana na siya pag-pronounce or inaana na siya because it's Jean Piaget because naturally it's French. It's not Jean Piaget. Again, Jean Piaget. So, ila-ilahon sa nato si Jean Piaget. Fun fact about Jean Piaget is that he became first interested in child psychology while working in Paris. Piaget noticed children's mistake in reading tests revealed different patterns of thinking from adult, sparking his lifelong interest in child psychology. Kita siya bata, and then, pagkita niya sa bata, sumora to iyang nakita or nakita ang ability sa bata, and then i-compare niya sa adult, then dito ang nag-spark iyang idea to develop the cognitive development theory. Now, also, in 1923, Piaget married Valentine Châtenay. And also, na sila'y tulo ka anak and later become the subject of his developmental observation. What's more funny is that gihimo niyang specimen ang iyahang mga anak to observe, no, ang iyahang gina-develop nga theory. Okay? That's what happened. Nangasawa siya og gihimo niyang specimen iyahang asawa og iyahang anak. That's funny. Okay? Okay. Now, let's move on to the key terms to remember. So, kailangan nato ni understand ng mga terms bago to mag-move on sa stages of cognitive development kay para mas deeper ang context nga atong nabalaan, no? Upon understanding or going to the level. Okay, let's begin. To the key terms to remember or to ponder. Number 1, we have here schema. I believe you already heard this one, schema, because I discussed this before. Schema means prior knowledge or cognitive structure. It means unsa ang imuhang nabalaan from before. That is what is so-called as schema. Key term na lumabas sa board exam is prior knowledge. Then, let's move on to assimilation or fitting new experience. So, ang assimilation naman is that, example, naakay prior nga schema. And then, itry niyo mag-fit kung unsa imuhang nabalaan. Example, iro, later na lang kay para mag-make sense siya. Accommodation naman is creating new knowledge or creating new experience out from the schema. In other words, ang accommodation is that out from your prior knowledge nga mao imong nabalaan tapos kining naakay bag-o nga experience, no, or naakay bag-o knowledge nga nasugatan, imo siyang kining i-accommodate by simply creating new knowledge. Say for instance, imuhang na deduce nga ang animal is naay upat ka tiil. Okay? Naay upat ka tiil. And then naay fur. Karon, kita man ang bata or kita man ka og bird. Tubag ako in the comment section, ang bird ba kay animal siya? Yes or no? The answer is very obvious, it's yes. So meaning, you create new knowledge ang animals lang ang animals di ay dili lang siya na ay upat ka tiil og na ay feather, but rather naapoy lain animals nga na iduha lang katiil. Say for instance, ang mga birds. Okay? Then, naapod tayo ginatawag na equilibration, balance between assimilation and accommodation. So, with that being said, if dili mabalance ang imuhang assimilation o ang ato ang accommodation, dili na mosulod si disequilibration or cognitive disequilibrium or disequilibration when our experience does not match our schemata or cognitive structure. Okay, let me explain this one in a bit better or in a deeper context. Say for an instance, let's have an initial schema. So think of a schema as a mental blueprint or a file folder in your brain. It's a structure of unit of knowledge or pattern throughout, no, we use to organize and interpret the information. Example, the child's initial dog schema is simple example of this, and what you observe here, ana iyang parent with the use of book nga mao ni siya ang iro. Ang iro is looks like this. Then schema will develop, no, sa iyang mind, kay explain man sa iyang parent nga ang dog di ay kay naay dalunggan, na ay upat ka legs, ug na ay ikog. So mao to ang initial schema sa bata. So nagform na dayon nga pag ang iro di ay kay na ay fur or na ay balhibo, na ay talunggan, na ay upat ka legs, and even na asay tail. Okay, nagform na ang schema, prior knowledge sa bata. Karon, ang bata kay nakakita siya og iro. Assimilation process. Now, this is the process of using an existing schema to deal with new object or situation. It's like adding a new document to an existing file folder. In your example seeing here is that the new type of dog is assimilated because it fits to the new existing four-legged animal that barks. The schema. So, basically, maulang man tong tulo nga nabalaan sa bata nga ang iro di ay kinaay ears, na ay kuan, na ay legs, tapos na apoy tail. Karon kita siya in person, no? And then ang iro kay nag-aw-aw man. So mao na tong bag-o nga information inisulod sa iyang mind. That's assimilation. So another example naman, so ang nakita sa bata nga iro is that kind of dog. Okay? Nga brown. Agoy nakakita man siya chihuahua nga gamay. Then naanad mo na dahil na si parent. So reinforce na din si parent nga dili tanan dog kay brown, but rather nailain nga mga dog. So assimilation process, ang dog na ay ears, na ay four legs, and even na ay tail. And let's move on to accommodation. Now the child sees a cat in the park. Here na. So pag tanaw niya sa cat, a new schema will build, no? Or must build. So, a form to knowledge that is different animals even though it has some of the same traits like a dog. Kaya pagkita niya sa kuan, pagkita niya sa cat, ang iyang nakita kay hala, na ay four legs. Check. Na ay dalunggan, ears. Check. Na ay tails. Check. Na ay balhibo. Check. Gapanila or legs. Check. Kadto tanan kini-check siya sa iyang schema. Karon, ang iring. Kay wala man ni aw-aw. Ang iring, kini meow-meow man. Anak pag pagka-meow-meow, meow-meow-meow-meow. Joke lang. Then, dirian ni masulod si accommodation. Okay? Accommodation is actually happens when the parent accommodate the learner. Tuluan niya ang parent. At ang bata rather. No, the cat is actually gaing ani ang cat, no? And everything in between. Now, the thing is, pag dili nimo i-accommodate ang bata, then ang mahitabuan na ang disequilibrium or disequilibration. So pag sinabi nating equilibration naman, it is when the driving force behind this entire process, it is the balancing act between assimilation and accommodation. So meaning, ang mag-reinforce ng equilibration is ang parents talaga. Tudluan ang bata nga dili tanan dog is or dili tanan animals is same trait sa imong nabalaan just like a dog. Naapod di ay cat. That is a cat. So diri ana mo sulod tong kadtong iyahang knowledge nga ang cat di ay kay mag meow meow. Meow 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 meow. Joke lang. So the child in a state of disequilibrium, the parents provides feedback and reinforce that it is a cat. So disequilibrium naman is that it is a state of cognitive imbalance that occurs when we encounter something that does not fit into our schema. Okay? So, this is a crucial moment for learning and development because it motivates us to restore the balance, which is the equilibrium or equilibration. Now, this is the process, no, of the cognitive structuring, which happen to be equilibrium, assimilation, equilibration, then new situation, disequilibrium, accommodation, then tuyok dayon. Okay, now let's move on to Jean Piaget's stages of cognitive development. To remember, I actually developed here a mnemonics, SPCF. Okay, but rather, butangan natin siya og words to easily remember. Smart people caught fish. Again, smart people caught fish. Next, let's begin with smart, or S for sensory motor stage. So Jean Piaget, in this part, explained that the learners is during infancy. So from birth to 2 years, infants learn by interacting with their environment through senses and motor action. Okay? And object permanence is very prevalent, which understanding that an object still exists even when or when it's out of sight of the learners. So, with that being said, no, ma-develop sa bata diri ang ginatawag natong object permanence. Plus, I want you to remember this one because as far as I can remember, around 2023, dira man ko nakapasar og board exam na ako, no, lumabas talaga ito si object permanence. Dili ko yun na malimtan siya. So, si object permanence, mao ni ang bata nga kanang, although, ang bola, no, kay na, kining naligid siya padulong sa ilalom sa lamesa, kabalo ang bata nga naa ang bola dito nga wala siya nawala. That's object permanence, that it still exists. Okay, just like what you've seen here in the illustration. Okay, P naman is pre-operational stage, so roughly corresponding from preschool years 2 to 7 years old. So children's thinking is more intuitive than logical. Okay, more on intuition lang talaga. So, they develop symbolic function, no, which is the ability, no, to use symbols, words, and drawing to represent things. Okay? So, maraming mga characteristic na ma-develop sa bata, symbolic functions. And pretend basic. Example, a rocket ship of phone and everything in between. Okay? Okay, now let's move on to egocentrism. So, egocentrism is when the child assumes that others shares their point of view. An example, Anna, is buying a toy for Mother's Day, birthday, or misunderstanding family terms. In other words, or meaning, they can't see other situation from their point of view or people from other people's or person's point of view. Ilaha lang kaugalingon nilang ginatanaw. Mao ni, I think that it is right, so meaning mali ang act sa lain tao. Simple as that. Mao nang tendency during this time makipag-away siya sa iyahang kadula kay wala sila nagkasinabot. Ana lang. And 3, we have here the centration, focus on aspect of an object or event while ignoring others. Example, taller glass of water seem to have more, ignoring the width. So in other words, ang pilian gyud ana sa bata kung itapad nato example sa inyo nakita dira sa screen, duha ka glass. Kanang duha ka glass pag itapad nato siya, and then the same siya og kanang nasa sulod, ang iyahang thinking gyud sa bata ana is ang glass kay pareha lang sila. Karon pag ibutang nato siya sa graduated cylinder sa inyo nakita dira or kanang taller nga cylinder, ang water itself is ma-elongate gyud siya or pataas. And then pag pangutan-on nimo ang bata, no, asa ang mas daghan, then piliun niya ang mas taller nga cylinder. Simply because kay mao man iya nakita. Okay? Mao pa nang ma-develop sa bata dira ang what we so called as centration. Og naapod tay ginatawag, no, na or irreversibility. So it's an inability of the learner, no, to reverse mental operations. Can solve 2 plus 3 is equals to 5, but no grasp of 5 minus 3 is equals to 2. In other words, it means rather that they can't mentally reverse an operation. For example, is what you can't understand that if the 5 is taken away by 2, you are left by 3, and so on. Then, meron din tayong tinatawag na animism. It is when they give human-like qualities to inanimate objects. In other words, dilian na magsulod ang imaginary friend sa bata. Again, during this time, sa pre-operational stage, gadula manggod ang mind sa bata, ana. So, imaginary friend will pave the way kay para masatisfy ang iyang thinking. So, kita na mo antong inside out at tong ang main character dito kay naa siya imaginary friend ug ang tawag niya sa imaginary friend kay si Ping Pong or Bing Bong ba to siya if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's it. Okay, last one on this stage is ma-develop pud sa bata ang ginatawag nato na transductive reasoning. Transductive reasoning is a reasoning from particular to particular. So, dili siya inductive, dili pud siya deductive. So, it is reasoning of one particular event to another, like thinking, it's night because mommy is home. So, another thing na pud ana, ay buntag na, kay nagtitilaok naman ang manok. Or, I used to think this one ay buntag na or alas 7 na kay nagluto naman si kuya og hotdog. Good. So, that is transductive reasoning. Okay? I hope nasabtan to siya. Okay. So, C, caught. C is for concrete operational stage. So, this stage, it is from age 8 to 11. So, we have concrete operational stage. So, children's thinking become more logical, but it's still limited to concrete objects and events only. So, a child can think logically at this time, but there are limitations. So, they cannot handle abstract reasoning. So, these are the key characteristics that the child may develop. Number 1, we have decentering. Okay? Pag sinabi natin decentering, it is the ability to focus on multiple aspects of situation. So, leads to more logical problem solving. That's decentering. Okay, now let's move on to another key characteristic, which is what we so-called as reversibility. So it is the ability or mental ability of the learners to reverse an object from one thing to another. So understanding that actions or operations can be reversed. So say for instance, the clay circle can be reshaped into another shape. So, one example, di ba ang clay, kaya pwede man nato ma-mold to whatever we want it to be. And then, i-mold nato siya paana, and then ibalik nato siya pa circle again. So, ang characteristic na ma-develop sa bata sa reversibility. At the other side of the coin, meron din tinatawag na conservation. So, it is the understanding that object's property can remain the same despite the changes in the appearance. Like knowing that the amount of water doesn't change when you pour into a taller or thinner glass. So, say for instance, sa centering na akong i-mention kanina, is that dili kaya sa bata nga i-distinguish ang properties by its kanang sudlanan sa graduated cylinder or sa cylinder nga normal. So, at this time, no, pagpangutan-on na nimo ang bata nga asa ang mas bugat sa ilahang duha pag i-change na sa moingon niya kay parihara man sila og properties. Another example that we have here for conservation is that pagpangutan-on nimo ang bata, no, kung kinsa ang mas bugat, ang isa ba ka kilo nga cotton or isa ka kilo nga stone. So, pag naa ang level sa bata at lower age, ang iingon gid anak niya is ang cotton because kabalo man siya sa property sa cotton nga soft ang cotton. However, nag-mention man kag isa ka kilo. So, that alone is an indicator. With that being said, ma-indicate sa bata nga 1 kilo is equal. So, diri na siya makita sa conservation. Next, we have the seriation. Okay? So, seriation implies that it is an ability to arrange order of objects based on dimension. It is ability to order based on single dimensions like size or even length. For example, sa inyo nakita dira from bigger triangle, ang triangle nga ingani hantod pababa na dayon. So, by length and size. Okay. Fish. Last stage. The fish. Or F is for formal operational stage. Okay? At this time, the final stage of cognitive development is begin at 12 onwards. So, it continues onwards, no? Until adulthood. This is when thinking becomes truly logical and abstract and even systematic. So, during this time, no, ang bata is mag-ask na siya sa iyang mind og mga question like, what if? And more so, the key characteristics na pinaka-present at this time is that this is what is so-called as hypothetical reasoning. So, the child can develop tests of multiple hypotheses in his or her mind. Example, ngano kaka-blue ang dagat? Basin, kuan kining naay Venus. or na ay jubos, something like that. Mawang thinking sa mga bata, no? Or sa mga people na ay mga what if sa iyang minds. In other words, to make it more simple, no? Hypothetical reasoning considered what if situation and testing multiple hypotheses. Okay? Next. Okay, another key characteristics that a child may develop is we have the analogical reasoning. So analogical reasoning allows them to recognize relationship and apply them in the new context, such as understanding the relationship between UK and Europe, and even Philippines is to Asia. Another example here is that if a dog is to bark, no? Cat is to blank. Unsay answer? Butang sa comment section in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer would be it's meow, 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 meow. Joke lang. But, yes, that's analogical reasoning. So, in a relationship, i-analyze mo relationship from one entity to another. We also have here deductive reasoning. It is applying general rules to specific situations. So, mao ni ang thinking na specific to general to specific. So, applying general rules to specific cases. Example, ana, all countries near the North Pole have cold temperatures. The case, Greenland is near the North Pole. Your conclusion is that Greenland has cold temperature. So, from general aspect, which is ang naa sa polar areas is tugnaw, and then specific, which is ang Greenland is dapit sa North Pole, then ang imuhang conclusion, no, is that ang Greenland is cold. That's the concept of deductive reasoning from general to specific. So, okay, review lang tayo gamay to wrap everything up, no? So, these are the 4 stages of cognitive development by Jean Piaget. To remember the chronological order, please remember the mnemonic SPCF, or Smart People Caught Fish. S is for sensory motor skills or sensory motor stage. P is for pre-operational stage. C is for concrete operational stage. And F is for formal operational stage. And each stage is meron siyang corresponding different key characteristics that a child may develop. So, this time, let's move on from Jean Piaget's finding and comprehensive theory, no? And we can drive the following principles with. So, what are the key takeaways for us, a future educator? Number 1 is to remember that child think differently at different stages. So, children will provide different explanations of reality at different stage of cognitive development. And also, cognitive development is facilitated by providing activities or situation that engage learners and require adaptation. Example, assimilation to and accommodation. So, our role is to provide activities that challenge the learners as future educators and require them to use assimilation and accommodation. Also, learning materials and activities should involve the appropriate level of motor or mental operation for children or child of a given age, avoid asking students to perform tasks that are beyond their current cognitive abilities. So, whenever, as a teacher, we need to design something na kaya sa capacity sa usa ka bata sa ilahang level. We must make sure that our learning materials and activities are as appropriate as possible based on the level of the learners. And we should avoid asking students to perform tasks that beyond sa ilahang cognitive capacity. Also, finally, use teaching methods that actively involve students and present challenges. So, use teaching methods that actively involve them at the present with engaging challenges, of course, in order for them to develop. More so, while these theories are developed, decades ago, I want you to understand that their principles continue to provide a foundation for modern psychology and education. Okay? So Freud reminds us rather, that unconscious process and early experience can deeply shape a person's personality, while Piaget, on the other hand, shows us that children are not just mini adults, but rather active learners who build knowledge in distinct sequential stages. So he teaches us that learning is actually facilitated by providing activities that challenge students and require them to adapt their thinking. So I believe that is it. Thank you so much for listening for this 1 hour long discussions. Thank you so much once again, Ad Astra per Aspera. Bye! Don't forget to subscribe.